I'm just gonna sneak it through.
We had developed this giant traveling map of Indiana years ago because the National Geographic Society has some giant traveling maps of Africa, Asia, all the continents basically, and the Pacific Ocean, the bottom. Very cool, that's a new one. And they're bigger than this, so they would take up about half of this whole space right here. And so some teachers in Indiana, they said we need a giant traveling map of Indiana. So we made this work, got a really nice grant, had a lot of cool partners, and we kept it kind of simple, because it's more usable that way. And it travels all over the state for free. And it comes with a resource trunk with all kinds of things. Plastic chains, cones, lessons. We have lots of curriculum, and you can check it out online to see what we have available for you to use.
We're significant in Kosciuszko County. And that's what we'll be asking the other counties to do. We'll have this map with some of the basic information on it, like roads and outlines of communities, and rivers and streams and lakes and things. And then it's up to the counties to decide what else goes on there.
And welcome to everyone for joining us for the kickoff for the Summer Institute to celebrate Indiana's Bicentennial, or commemorate, and look in the past, kind of look into the present, and then maybe plan ahead and look into the future, especially with all our young people who are in the room, because they are our future decision makers. So we need them to be engaged and to understand where we've been so that we can have a better future, hopefully, right? For the next Bicentennial.
Now, if I can just say a few words about this event and why this is so important. One of the things that you find in regions across the country, this is not unique to Indiana, but really across regions throughout the entire country, is that we sometimes have a lack of appreciation perhaps for local historical assets, right? We tend to take things for granted because we're locals. And so we don't always have a full appreciation for the historical as well as the tourism and the geographical assets of the region. And as we continue to, through programs like this, to increase the overall awareness of our economic history, we develop a greater understanding of the jobs. So as a result of a deeper understanding of these assets, we can help better inform public officials as well as economic development officials to make really good, sound decisions. So.
I was asked earlier, why do we really celebrate the Bicentennial? Earlier this week, not tonight, you guys know. Why do we celebrate the Bicentennial? And I said, well, have you ever had a birthday with a zero in it? Anybody having a zero ending birthday this year? I mean, feel free to admit I've had more than I care to admit. We just had one, and I'm not going to get my ears pierced this year, but I might. I just might. And I said, well, I think when you have a zero birthday, don't you take a moment and kind of reflect and think, you know, am I where I want to be? And where do I fit in the world? And where do I want to be? Well, we have that squared because we have two zeros. And that's why I think it's so important to celebrate the Bicentennial.
It is in the doing things together that we really become a community. And I ask you, go home, and in the quiet of your hours, you teachers think, what do you want your kids to experience in this thing called a Bicentennial? What do you know about where you came from? Not just those pioneers, but what happened to you 10 years ago? That's history. What happened to your kids in the first, second, third, and fourth grade before they got to the fifth? That's history. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? How long are you going to grow? When are you going to keep learning how to grow? What's going to turn you on to advance and change and move on? Where do you want to be in the future? Thanks so much for caring enough to come.
All right, so then after that, about 3 o'clock, then you're going to be on your own. And so you determine whether you want to drive over there, whether you want to carpool with somebody, and if you carpool, then you're going to be going on probably the same tours. So you may want to check that out. All right. And then the next thing then, that we start that around 2:45 or 3 with your options. And then you come back here tonight after you've had your dinner on your own and find us. And we're going to be over in the CCR. Neil, right? Mm-hmm. And Neil's going to be there, and we're asking all of you in his class to be leaders there because you have instruction that the others don't have. So if they're there planning with you, then you are going to kind of be the leaders to get them going. So we have with us today Cheryl Hartman, and she has driven all the way from here, Bloomington, this morning in the fog, and she has unloaded here for you to hear about the Piankashaw, which I think are rather traditional to Indiana, right? Well, we'll hear about that. Any questions for us on Cheryl before we start?
Feel comfortable. Bring your chairs up if you want. You don't have to sit back there so you can see a lot of this small stuff while I'm talking. I won't bite, I promise. Bonjour nagaro sila helaga nila leblanc ni sa okama pijiwa minato kikianga e piankashavu. You guys prefer English? I can do that. So today I'm just going to do a brief run through, kind of give you a background about the Native people that lived here in Indiana, starting about 10,000 years ago with the last of the glacial runoff. You're going to see a lot of roving groups of people coming and going. We will never know their language, we'll never know what kind of shelters they use, but we do know that there were areas even in northern Indiana where these glaciers had melted and formed lakes where people had left their footprints. They left stone tools behind. As we come further in time, you guys are probably more familiar with names like the Shawnee, the Miami, the Lenape, Potawatomi, Piankashaw, and so forth. Those are what we call the historic tribes. Some of these people, we cannot trace their ancestors back to a particular prehistoric group because they were pushed out of their area prior to the coming of Europeans.
Well, I fixed him with an eye and I said, "You'll make it free for all children, Dennis Pennington. Or you needn't bother coming home again." I knew it was a safe bet, but I did mean what I said. Indiana was the first state to put that into the Constitution. It is Article 9. There will be free public education. And of all the states that have come since then, there's a handful that have not included it. And that makes me, I think, proudest of all. My children have done well. My family has prospered. I have lots of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. But every child in the United States is entitled to free public education. And I like that. Thank you all very much. Well, in the interest of time, we're going to come to the 21st century for just a minute or two, I promise, because I know we need to get on the road. I grew up listening to this story. Dennis and Elizabeth are my great-great-great-grandparents. We know that she was a storyteller because that's how we have the story. She told it to her children and her grandchildren. and they told it to their children and grandchildren. And so in my family, and I didn't realize it because on both sides of my family, they are storytellers. And I thought everybody did that. So now that's kind of my mission, my crusade, tell your story. And that was, I started to tell this story. And I told Grandma and Grandpa that I would always tell it with respect. I find it inspiring, and I think most people who hear it find it inspiring. And so they seem pleased that I'm doing that, and I hope that continues.
This does not belong to the museum. It's on loan from the Filson Historical Society. But they didn't have a place for it. Now they're doing some remodeling. I think they wanted to stay here anyway. And it kind of represents the whole region, because the first community that owned this was New Albany. They owned it from 51 to 65. And then it was sold to Jeffersonville. And Jeffersonville used it volunteers. And then in 1895, some retired volunteer firefighters from Louisville found this in a Jeffersonville junkyard. And they purchased it, they restored it. This is a picture from the 1937 flood.
Oh, wow.
And this picture was taken in New Albany. And this is the Ohio River that is now several blocks away from the Ohio River. And in fact, this building, the water would have been about up to the open sign at that flood.
Oh my goodness.
This building wasn't here then, but I mean if it had been. So in New Albany, somebody came up with the idea of putting a fire truck on a raft to pull it around in case there were fires, and there are fires and floods.
That's a great idea.
And it could be used to pump water out as well. So this picture went, we would say today, went viral. It was in newspapers all over the nation.
How about that?
It was in movie theaters, on newsreels, and so forth. And in 1941, New Albany sold the truck. And now we have to look at another picture. It was purchased by Leavenworth, Indiana, just
I know.
downriver.
I stayed at Leavenworth Inn.
Okay, there you go.
I know what it is.
All right. And they used it for 20, 25 years, and then they kind of let it deteriorate.
Oh my, they did.
So then they gave it to us. We were all excited about getting it. And this was the condition
Oh boy.
when we got it.
Oh good.
So we got a gift, and we have a restorer on our board, and this is the same truck.
Oh boy, that looks a lot different.
This and this and this are all the same truck. Now he had to search around and find some things that were missing, but there was a lot that was there.
Sure.
And we're really, really excited.
I mentioned that the house I live in is I believe a Baines house, and here is a historic photograph of our house, a much smaller version, but you can see the clear similarities of this house to this building, which leads us to believe our house was also designed by Baines.
With your photo there, if you look at this very area right here,
right, that same sort of peculiar roof line is
sort
on
of the gambrel looking
is on our house as well. And you even have the bay window here, and the bay window in that location. So it's clear to me that it's the same builder. In the 19th century, a lot of people don't realize, like today, if you go and are standing in the grocery store or go to Barnes & Noble and you can find house plans in a book that you can choose from. Well, back in that period, there were builders who put plans together in published books on suggested designs for, you know, a gentleman of means, and he would come up with a design in the Italian taste. Well, Samuel Sloan, who was from Philadelphia, was building those kinds, or putting those types of publications together. And Victor Pepin, a local businessman, chose one of Sloan's designs to build this, what we call an Italianate villa, meant to, you know, reference the country houses in the Italian countryside.
You may be sitting there wondering, gee, I wonder where the Harrison County got its name. And I'm going to give you some of these. These are keepers that you can take and share. Take one of these with you, though. Now, the Harrison County. That's right, you might learn that. Harrison County was named for William Henry Harrison. Okay? Now, this publication sprang from my son being at school at North Harrison, which is in northern end of the county, and the teacher says, write down the president. Well, he writes down William Henry Harrison, and kids argued there was no such president. Now, I understand he was only in there a month, and I was just telling our state librarian person here a couple years ago, we read William Henry Harrison's inauguration right here in this very building. So that's one piece I like to tell everybody that comes in here, so they know it was named for Harrison County, was named for William Henry Harrison. You're actually in Harrison Township, and it was actually named for William Henry Harrison, and then he named the town Portland. So he's got quite a few roots in here. How you doing, Miss Kit Kat? This is a little project. Now all these projects that I come up with, I hope when I present it to teachers, I hope they're sitting there thinking, you know, we could do that with our school. Every time I ask my publisher, have you ever had something like this? You got a template or something? No, but when you get yours done, I will.
You got a fire going back here.
The inspiration of the campus. Recently we have had a new chancellor added here, and he has been a true inspiration, I think, to this campus. He brought lots of eyes. By the way, this is Chancellor Ray Wallace. And I will tell you, everybody, I think, in the whole community knows Ray Wallace. All you have to
All
do...
the charges have been dropped.
And you, right from the beginning, you know what his personality is like. He's fun. He's inspirational. He is a far-seeing, you know, looks to the future, right?
Stop.
I'll be glad to. Turn it over to you.
Thank you.
He's here to do a welcome at the end of our conference, which is great. Okay. Thank you very much.
How are you? So have you had a good time?
Mm-hmm.
And the lodges were fine?
Yes.
Okay. What?
I lived in the lodges for 2 years.
Yeah, so you know. You know the good and the bad.
Yes.
So there you are. There you are. Well, we are pleased. You know, I'll say this formally on behalf of 7,000 plus students, faculty, and staff here at the University. IU Southeast, we're pleased to have you here. So what did you learn? Tell me what you've learned through this area. What you've learned about your project, the mapping project. Tell me a couple of big things you've learned.
One really big thing I learned was, many things, but one thing was with the revitalization of the downtown, how when that bridge was shut for a while, it made people stay downtown a bit.
Right.
And that, just something as simple as that, getting people downtown, the whole revitalization process I thought was amazing, but that one thing of changing a route.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes we need to change the roots in our minds and in our hearts, and that it's not as hard. Sometimes we don't know.
So I agree with you, but I'll tell you something that surprises me. In this area, southern Indiana, I'm always surprised by the number of people who go, ooh, I don't go to Louisville, that's over the bridge. I just wanted to thank you all for coming. I hope our hospitality was up to your standards. I hope you enjoyed the residence hall. And so if you need anything else while you're here, I'm not helping any of you move out of the lodges. If you need any help, don't hesitate. And how about a big round of applause for our leaders.